As someone who's been in the lo-fi hip-hop space for as long as I have and built up a fan base of over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, one of the most common questions I get is, what's the secret to lo-fi drums? So there's three aspects of lo-fi hip-hop drums that at least are important to me. First one being swing and feel. For instance, in that last clip, when you have like a little MPC or a little beat pad, it's kind of easy to get the swing and the feel because you're just using your hands. The best way to explain swing is just off grid, off beat. It's not like perfect. Who wants that? Nobody wants that. And to me, it's really all about the hi-hat groove. Once you get the hi-hat kind of swinging, that's really, to me, what really captures the vibe. And then you can just start adding in the other instruments. So I mean, that's swing, and that's if you're using a beat pad. There's a bunch of different ways to actually force swing. For instance, in Ableton, so right there we have just like the most basic drum pattern of all time. Here's what we can do to give it some swing. First off, an easy way, you hit this little D button right here that stands for delay. So for instance, the hi-hats, you could delay them by like, I don't know, 40 milliseconds, and now it's gonna sound a little off. So just with the hi-hats alone, that's already way more swing. Before, after. And same thing with the snare. For the snare, maybe we can have the snare come up a little. You make the snare hit just a little bit before the grid. It's a little back and forth that just gives it a very sexy swing. I don't usually use the delay feature for the kick. I usually just move it around myself. So you can have it a little off the grid, but for me, I kind of keep my kicks for the most part on the grid. Maybe the second one, I'll probably delay it a little bit. And it all started super simple and super on the grid. It's really just about moving things around. But another trick is velocity on the hi-hat. Just turn the gain down on like the second hi-hat. Maybe even the third hi-hat, you turn the gain down. And then now you have this kind of pattern where it's going up and down. So those are just a few things you can do to make your lo-fi drums swing. And now for number 2, simplicity. Now when it comes to a lot of different genres, people like to get complex with the drums, whether it's trap drums, whatever it may be. Eventually the drums might, the hi-hats go. Just a lot going on. With lo-fi hip-hop, you really want to pay attention to the space in the track. One thing a lot of people overuse is their kicks. You don't need that many kicks, bro. Where somebody might do this, which is fine, but if you want a more laid back feel, you can go. Lo-fi hip hop, boom bap, chill hop, whatever you want to call it, it's really based on the tempo you use. So if you're doing like 90s boom bap, yeah, it's gonna be 95 BPM. That's more boom bap kind of feel. But if you're doing like 70 BPM lo-fi girl vibes, they're gonna be slowing it down all the way to this. But yeah, so there's different ways to do it. My best advice would just, whatever type of beat you're trying to make, just go listen to similar beats and see how they do it. But I guess my number one tip would try not to overuse the kick. You know what I'm saying? You don't need too many kicks. You can space out that kick all you want. A lot of times when I do drum patterns, like let's say this one right here, one of the things I like to do is on the third bar, I might get rid of the first kick and it'll sound like this. So that's just another technique that you can use, and you can also keep it simple. Just make sure to pay attention to the space of the track. On to number 3, and that is textures and sound selection. I'm just gonna bundle those two together. They could be separate, but sound selection is so important to make your life easier. This shout out to the sponsor of today's video, L.Dre, you know what I'm saying? L.Dre Drum Kit Volume 3 out now. Decap, Mr. Drums That Knock himself, says it's the best lo-fi drum kit. So I'll put the picture on the screen for proof. But yeah, no, seriously, link is in the description. Picking the right sounds for your beat is super important, especially it depends on what kind of thing you're doing, because some lo-fi beats, they require something really soft. Like for instance, with this drum pattern right here, like that's a good snare. That's a very punchy snare, but that snare would be better for if I'm really like, you know, more of the boom bap vibes. But if you're doing super lo-fi, first thing you want to do on that snare is just EQ the hell out of the high end. This is a lo-fi snare. Compared to this, same thing with the hi-hats. You want to turn the hi-hats down as far as mixing goes, because you got to think about the listeners. If you're doing lo-fi hip-hop, 9 out of 10 people are listening to it in a playlist, chill, just to chill, study. They don't need a harsh-ass snare banging them in their eardrum. So that's why I wanted to just throw sound selection in there, but that's for all producing. You always need it. Sound selection is the first thing that you should have on your mind. But when it comes to lo-fi drums, it's all about the textures. And what I mean by textures, I'm talking Foley, I'm talking rain sounds, I'm talking bird sounds. And it's all about bringing that in to your drum pattern. It's not just the whole beat, because you can listen to a drum loop without the instruments and add the textures and it'll make it better instantly. I'll show you right now. So this drum pattern we got here, it's cool, but what if we added some clips of me stepping on leaves? So if we really wanted to, let's turn that warp off. Let's move it to start. Like obviously you wouldn't think about it in the context of a beat, it probably sounds way better, but you know, adding layers and layers of stuff like that is always gonna fill out the beat and make it sound more lo-fi. You know, obviously this video is about making your own patterns. Just for a second, use loops, all right? Like just don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna, you're not gonna get in trouble, you're not cheating. Go ahead and find some good loops to start your groove. That's one of the things I always do, and it's always really good to do that to add texture. So I'll give you an example. So really quickly, I just grabbed this random little percussion loop from Splice, and it just has a lot of noise in it. So turning that down -25 and throwing it on there. Play it without it. And just for the sake of this having a juicy ending, let's throw a little sample chop on top of it to make it sound like a real beat. But yeah, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. If you want to, that's the secret to lo-fi drum. Swing and feel, simplicity, and textures. Right? Yeah, that's it. It's 2022. This is the first video of the year. If you made it this far, when this video hits 500 likes, I'm gonna give away $100 to one of you in the comments. All you gotta do is comment something you'd normally comment, but just throw a fire emoji in there, and that's how I'll filter it out when I pick the winner. What am I doing with my hands? Somebody put a beat on that and send it to me in Discord. Peace out. Enjoy that video. Subscribe here for more videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.